Hello, everybody. It is DK Productions here today for our No Homework podcast. So today I had no school because there was a power outage, but I still decided that this episode should be episode 2 of the No Homework podcast. Today I was going to start the weekend podcast with my brother, but we weren't able to get that done. So we're just going to go ahead and do a No Homework podcast. It is Friday. And, so I got my tops together and everything. It's raining like heck right now outside. But before I get into this, I'd like to say that future podcasts are going to include Fallout, Skyrim, and such topics. And, of course, we'll not only go on video games, but we'll also talk about other things other than just video games. But today we have video games. So, our first topic here, we have top 5 best games for me, in my opinion. So we're going to begin with Fallout New Vegas is my number 1 favorite game. We'll start from the first to the bottom. I love Fallout New Vegas because it's awesome, you know? You're basically a badass in a wasteland that is just... It's sick. Once you get so into it, you cannot get out of it. My favorite thing about the game is just the variety of weapon modifications you can do and the amount of armors they have. My favorite weapon being probably All-American, which is like a carbine rifle that you can get within the game. For those of you who have played Fallout New Vegas, you guys know of this. And I've collected pretty much like every single unique weapon. I also like the anti-material rifle. And my favorite melee weapon would probably be the shish kebab. Does have some. It's a really like good game. So my least favorite thing about the game is probably just the overall, just kind of animations. Kind of. I mean, they're okay, you know, and I don't know. The characters kind of all look like plastic. You're like the player model and just everything in the game. Well, I mean, the landscaping and everything looks really good, and some of the textures do, but, like, the humans just look like plastic. Like, what are they, all synths? Anyway, so some very funny things about it that I actually, I watched a video on this, like, a long time ago, but apparently you can go behind, like, Brahmin, and you can basically tip over the Brahmin, and it's really kind of funny because they fall over. Another funny thing is, like, just when I go in, like, when I'm, like, since I'm, like, really overpowered, I'll go to, like, a weak enemy, for example, and, like, they'll attack me, and, I'll get out, like, my most powerful weapon or something, and I'll just go in VATS, which is, you know, the automatic targeting system, and I'll just totally spam the heck out of the VATS button till I'm out of AP, and then I just shoot, and then they just explode into a million pieces. But I mean, it does save the rest of your action points, which I thought is pretty cool. So my favorite character in the game would probably be, I'd have to say, even though I'm not a fan of the Legion in the game, I do like Caesar. Or Caesar, my bad. No, that's right, no. Legate Linnaeus, I think. I like Legate Linnaeus. He's kind of a terrifying person, you know. He's more of a creature, if anything. I mean, in his tall, hulking armor, I find him really cool. He's really neat. Alright, so glitches wise, right here. It says, okay, so, I know of this one glitch I did where you can go to the Gunrunners, they're selling their little kiosk, and you can get inside of the Gunrunner kiosk. I know that, and you cannot kill a Gunrunner bot on the inside. Another thing is it's not really a glitch or anything. I consider it my own custom kind of glitch. But every now and then I'll go over to the Gunrunner's place, and since they have, like, guards wearing combat armor, and they're carrying hunting rifles, I kill all the guards within the parameter of the area, and then I take their armor, I'll drag it over the kiosk, and I'll just sell the armor, and it'll be like worth 1,000 caps per piece, and I'm like, this is awesome. I can just make money off this. Then another glitch is, I believe, I'm not sure how you exactly do this, but you can have 2 weapons of the same type, and you, like, sell them back and forth, and it ends up, like, you sell that weapon, then you buy it, then you sell it, then you buy it, then you sell it, then you buy it. And I think that's how you do it. I cannot remember. And it's supposed to basically get the vendors that's selling it to you or whatever, or you're buying it from, you're doing the glitch with, it's supposed to get their caps all the way down to 0 and give you all their caps, which I thought is pretty cheating, but it's cool. Quality wise, the game is okay. I mean, it's not the best thing ever. It's a 2011 game, obviously. And, I mean, it's not the best thing ever for games at that time period, like quality wise. But it's okay. The animation is okay. Just because, I mean, it is. The game is also sort of easy to play. It depends what difficulty you play it on. That is why. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next game, we have Garry's Mod and Half-Life 2. So since Garry's Mod is a mod to Half-Life 2, I've included them both in the same spot there here. But I mean, both great games. All right. First of all, I played the Half-Life 2. Just Half-Life 2. I've not played the first one. I don't know why I was watching YouTube on it, and then I really got into it. It was really fun. I'm gonna slow down a bit. I think I'm going a little bit fast. If I do apologize. So, my favorite things about Half-Life 2 and Garry's Mod. Well, actually, I'll just go with Half-Life 2 first, and explain why. I like the story. The story is very well made. And I do like the part where you get to the coast, like the coastal highway, and you race along that, or you race in your buggy along that to get through it to get to Nova Prospekt. That one part of the campaign. I mean, I'm sure all of you have at least played or seen or anything heard of Half-Life 2, and it's really fun. Anyway, yeah, I just like the Nova Prospekt. My favorite weapon would probably be the AR-2 and the gravity gun. Well, yeah, the gravity gun because they really the developers did a really good job of integrating it within the game by including the level of Ravenholm, where you can pretty much pass that entire level with just a gravity gun. Pretty much most of it at least, until you have to be given the shotgun by Father Grigori. And then I like the AR-2 because it's good and powerful. The Magnum's also not bad. So my least favorite thing about the game, I'd have to say, would probably just be the fact that you can't really aim. It's more of just based on just kind of using that cursor. But I mean, that is how Valve does their games, just like Counter-Strike. I mean, you can't aim in that either or anything. That's just how it is. So I mean, that's not too bad, but that's just kind of my least favorite thing. I don't know. I always thought that SMG sight would come of good use if I were able to aim with it. So some funny things I find funny in the game, Half-Life 2 is just, I mean, if I'd have to name it, I kind of found the fact that, when you get the super gravity gun at the end of the game, you could just pick up the Combine Elites and just throw them across the room like that easy. It's kind of funny. I found that funny. My favorite character would probably have to be, I'm not sure here. I do like Alex Vance, but I mean, because most video games, they don't have like female characters as a badass, and I found that pretty cool that Half-Life did that. I'd say my favorite character would probably be Dr. Kleiner. I don't know, I just find him a goofy, kind of funny guy. I don't know really if any glitches though within the game. So I mean, I'm not sure. But the quality and the animation, I think, is pretty good in Half-Life 2. I mean, the reloading animations are a bit, quick or weird, but, there are weird guns that you do get in the game. And the textures aren't too bad for, like, an old game. It is relatively easy to play, though, through most of the game. But, again, you have difficulty levels, and that's why. Alright, so we're going to move on to Garry's Mod now, which is still in my second favorite video game section. So I like Garry's Mod a lot, and I'm just gonna put it simple here. I'm not really gonna answer based off of the podcast questioning here I wrote down. I like Garry's Mod It's so much fun. The mods that the mod authors create, they put so much dedication into these mods. They're so well done. I'd probably have to say my favorite mod would probably be M9K Weapons. I mean, for those of you who have played Garry's Mod, we all know that's one of the best weapon packs out there within the gaming community of Garry's Mod. I do also just enjoy just screwing around. I used to make large-scale battles, make like Combine, and make rebels fight each other, and I'd be like a rebel or a Combine soldier. I do like role-playing in that to myself, well, because I'm weird sometimes. But I could always get engrossed within Garry's Mod forever. I also liked my other favorite mod was probably be the, if I had to name it, would probably be the physics house, like the destructible house mod. I found that one pretty fun because you could just destroy the house. And of course, they have many other physics maps because they're cool. You can destroy the entirety of the map. And I did like the Star Wars spaceships mod and the Star Wars guns mod. I always went on this Counter-Strike map I downloaded called Dewanda or whatever, and I'd always make like clone troopers and like I'd make stormtroopers and such fight each other. Like I made enemy ones, bad ones, and I'd role play and I'd pretend I was one of them. But yeah, that is why, because I just had some really good pastimes within Gmod, Garry's Mod. It's really fun. It's the same quality animation as Half-Life 2 practically, so I mean there's not much you can say in that category. Although I'm sure there are UI scalers like that can make your game look better. Alright, I'm gonna move on now. To Skyrim. Now, Skyrim. Oh, I remember all the fun times I had in that game. Wow, yeah. I got so bored at one point. I just started downloading mods when my friend told me, oh yeah, you can download mods. Did you know that off the Steam Workshop? And I'm all like, no way. Well, I'm going to start doing that now. Because I'm like a level 80 and I have like Daedric armor and I just have nothing to do because I did most of the game's quest pretty much. I just had miscellaneous stuff to do or just go mess around. But, so, yeah, there are a few fun mods you can do in that. I got one called the Astoria. It's a Dwemer airship that you get. It is super sick. I did enjoy going through that. Then I got the red versus blue Spartans. They're not. This is not a Rooster Teeth reference, obviously, but it's like out in the middle of nowhere. You can find a ton of red-colored Spartans and Mark 6 armor fighting each other, and I think it was pretty cool. I went to go join the battle. Like they were like super overpowered and stuff, and I found that really fun. But yeah. So I like it because the lore. It's just it's again. I know I've mentioned this already about one game, but I do like the story. The story is very well done. The main quest, and then I just like how you can just explore, and it's just like, it's basically like a cool RPG game. It's like, I mean, it matches nothing up to Oblivion, which is one of the best RPG games, but I have not played Oblivion, by the way, but I mean, Skyrim's just so, it's beautiful, the landscape is. I liked fighting everything there, and I just like the battles and stuff, and going in Draugr dungeons. My favorite things about the game, if I'd have to say, are probably, like doing the Thieves Guild quest, the quest line, which I eventually found out how to max that out and get shops within your Thieves Guild and become the master. And I did all that just to get Master's Armor. I don't know why, because I thought it was cool, but I mean, I do like doing the Thieves Guild quest. Dark Brotherhood's pretty fun too. And I also love riding Odahviing. Once you, of course, have the DLC and you beat Dragon, I think it's the Dragonborn DLC, you can get the Bend Will shout and cause dragons to land at your will, and you can ride them. And I think that was pretty well done, even though you can't, you can't control where they go, but you can, like, you're basically like a gunner in a helicopter in like a Call of Duty kill streak. You just hover over an area and you tell that dragon to attack. It's so much fun. But yeah, I used to play with lots of mods on that too. My least favorite thing about Skyrim is when you play it on the computer, it just seems kind of bad because like you're moving and it's like slow response with the mouse. Like I'll move my mouse right, like kind of quick, and then like a second delay later, the screen will move with me, and I'm all like, oh, it's so slow reaction, but and sometimes the keyboard feels a bit mushy when you play it. But I mean, other than that, it's not too bad of a thing to worry about. A funny thing I found in Skyrim was, I mean, just when you get knocked back or crap like that, or when you get knocked out, when you die, when you like fall, and then you hit the ground, but he doesn't really like go flying. He just kind of like tumbles and then dies. I also found funny that you like if you like kill certain, it's just kill certain NPCs, and I just like I like, oh, that's right, yes, that's what it was. I was trying to think about it. I was getting a little fumbled up there. I apologize. It was getting the freeze shout, and then going up to cards in Solitude, and they're like drawing their bows back, their arrows back on their bows, and freezing them, and they just fall like how they were frozen. They don't even get mad at you. It's just so much fun. My favorite character in Skyrim is probably Paarthurnax. I don't know why, but I just find him like a really cool, like wise old guy dragon kind of. I like Paarthurnax because of that reason. I have not really found any glitches in the game. I'm not really aware if there's any glitches in the game. Is there? I'm not sure if this is a glitch, but you can put the bucket over the shopkeepers' heads and then you can go and steal everything. Which I thought that was pretty cool. But, quality and animation wise, it's good. The animation is very nice, neat. Although, of course, I still have that problem to where things are delayed, which is my least favorite thing. Like if I'll click my mouse to draw my sword, it'll take 5 seconds to draw my sword. I'm just like, it's just so slow. But I mean, the quality is really good. What I noticed though is the colors are really dull and everything's just so gray in Skyrim. It just feels like Dark Souls a little bit. But I mean, you get used to that and it just kind of becomes beautiful to you a little bit, that dull color. But I'm going to move on here to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Now, I just love this game. Oh, I remember when I was 12 when I used to just engross myself into hours of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Oh my god, I could spend hours on that. I played it on the 360 so many times, my gosh. Same as I did with Fallout New Vegas, actually. I played that on the 360 too. But I mean, all the other games I play are pretty much on Steam, but I love Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It is so... Alright, why do I love it? Well, because it's just so much fun to play. And I just loved, messing around, like grabbing people and throwing them in the river or assassinating cards in hilarious ways. It was just so funny. I found Assassin's Creed Brotherhood so funny. My favorite thing in the game would probably be, like, if you get, like, a heavy weapon or you have, like, throwing knives. You, like, throw them at people. It's so funny. Like, and you throw them. My favorite weapon is, like, this French broadsword or heavy sword you can get. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called the Stocco. You get it for helping out the Thieves Guild. I cannot remember. It's, like, a French weapon, and it's, like, a huge... It's basically one of them broadsword things. Two-handed weapons. I liked that weapon. It was pretty powerful. My least favorite thing in Brotherhood was probably the fact that, I don't know, the map was just kind of limited. Like, you could go and you could access the world map, but it would only show Venice, and I'm like, why would they do that? I don't know. But that's always what it's been with these Assassin's Creed games. You just kind of don't, and I wish there's, like, more to do towards the end of the game, because there isn't much to do once you do everything. I mean, except, something I never did, which was the armor of the Brutus, but, I didn't like that armor. But whatever. We don't need to get into that. Any glitches I've noticed in the game are... Well, one time, this is actually kind of funny, my friend assassinated a guard, threw him off the roof, and he fell on the ground, and he just started, like, just having a seizure against the ground, just kind of, like, humping the ground. It was just kind of really funny. I really enjoyed laughing at that kind of stuff, but, and then just kind of like when you run into people and shove them out of the way or steal someone's horse or assassinate or, kill a guard, throw the body down, and then watch all the people go around them. The quality, is okay. The animations are kind of a little bit odd, but they're really good because Ezio has to climb and they have to show all that good animation. Of course, now they have like newer Assassin's Creed games, but I've always just liked Brotherhood. To move on to my last and final game. This game I got on a Steam sale where it came for free. You could get it for free. And the company for Arma did it. Arma Cold War Assault. Now, before you start judging me, I know that's a really, 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 really old game. I mean, it looked so stretched out and ugly on my computer. But why did I like it? Because I liked going into the custom map editor and scripting my own battle. I loved the fact that you could place like a Chinook there, load up troops, force the troops to load up, pick up what kind of troops they are, and then where's that helicopter gonna fly, And it's just, I find that so much fun. My favorite thing in that was probably like driving like a vehicle and destroying like other vehicles, or like flying a helicopter. I loved kicking butt in that. And then of course also being dropped off in battle and stuff, and I also found that a lot of fun playing the Black Ops characters and messing around with that. But my favorite character, oh, well, look at that, I forgot. For Assassin's Creed, I forgot my favorite character. I'm just gonna say it was Ezio because it was. Anyway, let's go back to Arma Cold War Assault. Okay, so my favorite character in the game, I can't really name one. I mean, I guess you could say like the tank crew. I like it when you control the tank, so I mean, you guess you could say the character's contributing that. Now let's talk about quality and animation wise. Obviously not your game for immersive titles. It's a really kind of ugly, it's old, and it's not very nice. The animation is it's so bad. When you reload your weapon, you don't even take the mag out. But of course I'm young, and this is an older game that people older than me have played, and it was, I assume, a very fun game. It was fun to me. Anyway, that covers our first topic for today. That is the top 5 best video games. So now we are going to move on to my favorite tech gadgets / tech. So this is going to be quick because I don't really have many. There's only a few things I like. Of course, I can always add to the optional list. Let's begin here with number 1, the Xbox 360. Definitely the Xbox. I love the Xbox. I love the Xbox 360. I know the one's out. I know all that new stuff is out, but the 360 was my best friend when no one else was. Back then, And it was such a good, one of the world's best gaming systems in my opinion. Although the controller is designed for a fat person's hands, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't know much about the specs of the 360. I know that they're very minimal, and they're just like, they're made, to handle up to a certain kind of quality, but you can't ever change the quality within your gaming experience when you're playing on 360. But it's a gaming machine, obviously, because that's all it's made for. My favorite feature about the 360 would probably be just being able to put in your disc and play the game, That's just the basic main thing for it. My least favorite thing is probably, I don't know, the fact that I don't really know if I have a least favorite thing to name about the 360. I don't really have a least favorite thing about it. No, I just loved everything about it. The design was very nice for back then, but now if you look at it, it's just like, it's kind of ugly. It's kind of looking at the first Xbox ever made. It's just not that nice looking. It's okay looking though. How did I get into the Xbox? Well, my first gaming console I ever got from my parents was a used PS3 or PS2. And then when I had my next 2 birthdays, I believe I upgraded to the 360. So, yeah. Next up, my second favorite piece of technology is definitely my old computer, which is an old HP. I forgot what kind it was. It had a AMD Radeon graphics card in it. It was a $300 computer. But that thing, why did I love it so much? Because I could run Far Cry 3 on that stuff. Alright? This is a $300 computer running Far Cry 3. And I got it on my 13th birthday. Yeah. Yeah. I love that computer so much. It'd be so outdated compared to today's technology, but I mean, if I would be able to go back and fix it, it'd be so awesome. But I can't, unfortunately, because the motherboard is fried in the computer, so I can't really do anything about that unless I pay a lot of money for a new motherboard. I'm not going to waste my money on that. Anyway, I just loved it. I could run Saints Row 4 on it. I was able to run Far Cry 3 on low graphics, but like that's pretty good for that's like the most demanding title I had on my Steam account, and I enjoyed playing that, and it was just still very much enjoyable. My favorite thing about my old computer was just, I don't know, just being able to get on there, log into Steam, and play. You know, my least favorite thing is, of course, just how slow it went sometimes, and I'd always have to make cleanups and stuff. And I wasn't a very good computer maintainer, right? But now I know more, so I'm more wiser about that. The design is very sleek. It looks very kind of thin. It's got a wide display. I don't know how much I'd have to say if I made a guess. It's not a bulky. It's really nice looking, neat. I got into it because one day my mom's all like, when I was like 12 or 13, I think it was. Did I mention on my birthday? She's like, "We're gonna get you a new computer. We're gonna get you a computer finally." I'm all like, "All right, let's go." So the next day we went to go buy, and yep, then I got my new HP, and then yeah, it's broken already once, and then I fixed it. And the same issue where like the screen would turn on. Like, here's my issue with it. The screen would turn on, like it would turn on. The LCD was on, but it was like black, and it's just like kind of a light on. And then the colored, like the one of the buttons on the keyboard was orange when it was supposed to be white lit. It was like a little circle right next to the button, and that little like button circle thing is supposed to be white, but it was orange. And then the first time I fixed that, I actually took off the back of the computer. There's a little small section in L shape I could unscrew and take off, and I covered it with a napkin. Then went to school, and then I came back the next day, or I mean, not the next day. I mean, after the next 6 hours, and it worked fine. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy. And now this happened again recently. Well, actually, a very long time ago now. It's been so long since I've gamed. It's did the same thing, and I tried the same thing, and it wouldn't work. Me and my buddy Wyatt, one of my best friends, we tried to fix it, and nothing ever worked. I got help from my brother, and nothing ever worked. We couldn't figure anything out, and so then eventually I gave it to my grandma, and she works at she works, and then like this dude at her work knows stuff about computers, and anyway, he was saying the motherboard was fried, and then I got it back, and that's about it. And that's it, you know. But I mean, motherboard's just fried, and I can't do anything about that. Sometimes I feel like wasting my time just looking into it, but it's not really worth it. So it's just the least favorite thing after I got my first destruction of it. I had to be kind of careful with it, you know. And my third favorite tech gadget, my tech gadget, would probably be my old Sony headphones. Now, before I went to this podcast, I tried to look up what they were called. I tried to look up and I researched, but I couldn't find what they were called. But they're similar to the MDR ZX 310s, except they don't have two cords emerging from the headphone pods, but they had one cord only, and had a nice sleek blue design, which was my favorite thing about them. Well, actually, my second favorite thing. The specs were really. They sounded beautiful. They sounded really good, and they were like $50, and they sounded good. So yeah, my favorite thing, as I already said just now, it's the dark blue, sleek, kind of blue color I got with it. And of course, the sound quality was very good. The design was very small, kind of, but they were nice and they were cool, and yeah. So this next one was kind of my optional addition. It was my favorite. This is about my favorite tech gadgets / tech that I've already owned, but one I'm going to be getting soon in the future if I hopefully do save up for this finally. The $1,000 under $1,000 2017 gaming computer or laptop, the Dell Inspiron 7567, and I'm saving up for that. It has a Core i5 and a GTX 1050 Ti, and a 15-inch display. Now the 15-inch display is not very good. It looks very flushed out and kind of nasty. Not flushed out, but nasty. But the thing can handle, I believe, GTA 5 on Ultra or something like that. I can't really remember. Anyway, that thing is beautiful. That thing is really cool. I'm saving up for that. I'm going to get it in a black color, or possibly get a skin for it, because they only offer it in black and red, and I kind of want to get like a kind of blue carbon fiber back design to it, sort of. So, thank you everybody for listening to this podcast. This was about the top 5 best video games, in my opinion, and my favorite tech gadgets I've owned. Thank you for listening. I just hope to get some people to listen to this podcast, a few loyal and faithful listeners. And thank you very much. And another thing to mention, in the future, in a little bit here, maybe tomorrow, maybe next weekend, or since it is spring break, maybe next week, I will be having my brother, and we will be doing a podcast together, and this will be the other podcast I was talking about. It's not separate, it's the same podcast, but different logo, obviously, and possibly different topics. I'm more just interviewing him, and I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. Our next topic will be about Pokemon, and I'm going to be interviewing him on Pokemon. So we're going to be doing that. I know Pokemon. I mean, who does that anymore? But, I figured it'd be a very interesting topic. It's kind of nostalgic in a way. But anyway, this is DK Productions signing off, and thank you for listening to this podcast. Goodbye!